Hi friends and welcome to my nest. Today we're going to be sewing block number 2 from our mystery, spooky and sweet sew along from Fat Quarter Shop for the Halloween quilt. So this is what we're going to be sewing today. So we're going to be making a total of 3 blocks. So we're going to make this one right here and we're going to make this 2. And that's pretty much it. And then that will be all for our week 2. I also want to show you what my first block looks like. So this is what my first block looks like so far. And I'm going to try to stay within this color scheme so that way it kind of look cohesive. That's that. Now let's dive in and sew our block number 2 for this week. So here are my pieces here all cut out. And I went on ahead and made the first step, which is making 8 half square triangle. I made it ahead of time, which is 2 inches even. Now we're going to take this first step that we just completed, which is the green in the background. We're going to make a little unit of them. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece D, which is right here, and we're going to make 4 sets of this unit. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to take this with this right here. And it's going to look like this, like a 4 patch. We're going to make 4 of this unit that's going to look just like this. That will go on the corner of our block. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll meet you here. Okay, so all 4 of them are done and completed. So now we're going to put them aside. Our next step is to make our hourglass. So Fat Quarter Shop has it cut like this, which is awesome for a beginner, but I don't do my quarter square that way. What I do is cut out 4 different squares, okay? And I'm gonna show you. I cut out 5.5 because our finished quarter square is going to be 3.5. So I'm giving myself enough to work with. So what I do is, when you know you're going to have your quarter square looking like this is the 2 of the same right here, and then this one is different and this one is different. So what you're going to do is cut 2 of the same here, and then 1 of the white on white, and then 1 of the background. So what I'm going to do is sew them. So I have 4 pieces, 2 of the same and 1 of each are different. And by the way, I had a comment and they were asking what kind of white on white this was. This is by Joanna Figueroa, and I believe it is one of her collection that says my fig favorite. So this is where that is from. It's her white on white, my fresh fig favorites. So this is it right here. So I'm going to just put this together, and then this is already done. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm just going to sew on. I'm going to make 2 HST, and I'm going to sew on 1/4 inch away from the center. So I'm going to come around and do the same thing with this one, making sure I have the right side together. In this case, this is just a corner solid. It doesn't matter what size I have. I'm just going to sew them. All right, so I have both of them sewn 1/4 inch away. So what I'm going to do is just snip down the middle. I'm not going to even measure it. It doesn't matter at this point. So I'm just going to snip and then come over here and snip. So now I have 4 pieces. Every one of my square has an orange. So what we're going to make sure we're doing here is we're not going to put it like this. We're going to flip it like this, and we're going to flip it like this, making sure that this right here are opposite from each other. Okay, and then we're going to sew down the middle. So what I'm going to do here is just make sure that they meet. Sometimes it works out and it's perfect, and sometimes it's less than perfect, but that's okay. Notice I did not trim my square when I finish. You do not need to trim it. You're just going to trim at the end, and it's going to be 3.5 inches when it's all finished. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that my seams nest, and then I'm going to pin. Doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect around here, because at the end of the day, we're going to still trim it. So now I have both of them pinned. I'm just going to sew down this way. Now this seam is going this way, and then the other seam is going that way. So now I've sewn 1/4 inch away from the center, and they are done. And so I'm going to check, make sure. Yep, there we go. So I'm just going to snip down the middle. Before I snip down the middle, I'm going to bring my nifty ruler, this ruler right here that I can't get enough of, right? What I'm going to do is show you a little bit of, maybe you guys already know this, or maybe you don't. If you don't, this is something that I do if I'm sewing by myself and I'm not filming. So what I would do is, since this needs to be 3.5, this have not cut, right? They're still together. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to line it up without even cutting it. So I'm just going to line it down the middle. It's supposed to be 3.5. Put my seam to my 3.5 line, bring my rotary cutter, snip, and I'm going to snip. All right, so, and I'm going to come around one more time, put my 3.5 on my seam line like that. Everything is still intact. Press it down, and I'm going to just snip. Come over here and just cut the last part off, just like that. Now that this is done right now, right, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to snip down the middle. Okay. Either way it goes, you still have your perfect 3.5 inches. And I'm going to just cut off the dog ears. All right. So when I open it up, it's going to look just like this. Okay. This is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to do that to the other one right here. And I'm going to come around this way. And I'm going to come around over here again. I'm going to put it to my 3.5 on my seam line. And I'm going to cut. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to snip down the middle. Cut out the dog ears. And then we have 4 quarter square triangles, right? And then the middle that I was worried about looks just like that. So now I have all 4 of my quarter square all done. If you want to cut it this way, as illustrated by Fat Quarter Shop, you're more than welcome to do so. But for me, when I cut this way, it creates bias and it stretches my fabric. So that's why I do it this way. And then I just trim down. I cut bigger and trim down. So that's done. I just want to show you my way. Hopefully this will help someone. Fat Quarter Shop has a great illustration in their instruction you can follow. So we don't need that for now. So our next step that we're going to do is going to be taking our J piece, which is right here. So we're going to sew 4 with the snowball corner going this way, and we're going to sew with the snowball corner going this way. Okay, so first I'm going to sew this. So we're going to take our G piece, which is a 1.5 inch right here, and we're just going to snowball the corners. All 8 are completed. So I have this sewn from here to here, and I have this one sewn from here to here, and they're done. So our next step is to complete the square in a square center of our star. The plan was to use this right here. When I put this on the back, it looks too washed out against the white. I'm gonna go on and use this light lavender or purple, whatever it may be. So what I'm going to do now is make our square in the square using this purple right here. I think the purple is more effective against the white. So that's done. So the next thing we're going to do is assemble our spirit star. I'm going to sew the quarter square that we made earlier. I'm going to sew it to the side pieces, and I'm just going to chain piece all 4. So this is what our block is looking like right now, not sewn. I like this block. It doesn't even look Halloween-y at all. So what I'm going to do is assemble the entire thing. Now the block is completed, but we're not done yet. So we're going to piece our E on right and left side. So our next step is to do our smaller block. So what we're going to do is make 8 half square triangle. In the 8 half square triangle that we need, I've already made them. So our next step is to take our O and I and make 8 more HST, which is going to be 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is make 8 at a time, just doing it the easy way. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I have this right here cut, which is, so whenever you need to make an HST that's 8 at a time, I always, technically you're supposed to double it and then add 7/8. My brain does not compute 7/8 plus whatever. So what I do is I double it. So 2.5 plus 2.5 is going to give me 5, right? So 5, if I add 7/8, that'll give me roughly 6 inches. To be safe, I went on ahead and cut this at 6.25. I will put them together like this. I would draw a line just because I'm not sewing that many. Okay, I'm gonna get this little nifty ruler right here. Now this is your 1/4 inch ruler. It's a total of 1 inch. This line down this middle separate the quarter. So this is a quarter right here and a quarter right here. But I don't do that. I just go on ahead. I just make a line in the middle and just sew 1/4 inch apart from it. So now I made a line going this way and a line going this way. What I'm going to do is sew a 1/4 inch apart from the line in the middle. I've stitched here, and I've stitched on this way. So what I'm going to do is come around, and so I'm going to look for a halfway mark, and I'm going to cut. And I'm going to flip this around and I will cut. I'm just going to bring this back, put it like this. Now I know this is a little thin to be cutting. I am being very careful cutting this way because this ruler is super skinny. And I know I shouldn't use this, but I don't feel like getting up. It's late in the day and honestly, I'm tired. So I'm just going to be careful. So now we have 8 HSTs. And we have all the one we need, all the 8 that we need done at once. So what I'm going to do is bring back my nifty ruler right here. And we need to do 2.5. So I'm just going to put it like this and trim it down to 2.5. And that way you don't have to cut so many different fabric. You're just cutting 2 pieces. And yes, you are trimming it down, but still, it still saved me personally a little bit of time. So I'm just gonna sit here and trim, and I'll meet you here when I'm done, okay? So now I have 8 half square triangle with the background color. And I also have 8 half square triangle with the white on white colors. So now what we're doing is we are going to assemble the small. I still have this right here and I have it fuzzy cut to have the little spider. So what I'm going to do is assemble it this way. It is a 6.5. The assembly for this is a little kind of like not too confusing, but you just gotta place them right. So I'm gonna have my white background going this way, and then I'm going to have it going in the middle, kind of like a pinwheel type thing. I'm gonna have it like this. Okay, so I have 4 left. Now I'm just gonna look one more time to make sure I have it oriented in the right direction. This is what we are looking like. So what I'm gonna do now is just kind of sew them together, chain piece them. So both of them are completed. I had this in the orange and I had this in the with the bug in the middle. I'm not sure which one I like better. I think I like them both, but I think I like this better because it pops off the white, and then this kind of look a little washed out. I might just remake this, or I might just rip it and then just put the orange in the middle. Not sure yet, but this is done. We'll put it there. A win is a win, any way we can get it. Here are my blocks all completed. This is the bigger block right here, and this two are our smaller block. And we have this 1.5 by 6.5 inch to be joined in the middle. I didn't stitch them together only because I'm not sure if I want to change this little buck thing right here because it kind of blends in a little too much. But for now, these are done. If you're making this block, it's very pretty, but it has a lot of seam. So my recommendation to you is to go ahead and press it open. If you are not a presser open kind of quilter, this one right here may need for you to press it open. I didn't, and I wish I did, okay? So if you want to see what my back look like, I'm just embarrassed to show it. This is what it looks like. It looks rather terrible. But you know what? It is what it is. It's done, and that's all that matters. So here we go. Both of my block for week 2 are completed. And if you, right here, this 2 fabric right here, this one and this one right here are the exact same fabrics because they're ombre. So I was able to use it twice. I use a darker orange here and I used the lighter part of the ombre over here, making it look like it's two different fabrics, but they're not. They're one fabric. So I was able to use the same fabric twice to get a different look, and it seems like it was very effective. Comment down below if you're sewing the mystery, spooky, and sweet sew along. I want to know. Just so far, I think I like the way it's turning out. It looks more of a sweet kind of Halloween. So this is what mine looks like. Oh, so once again, I'm going to show you what my first blocks look like, and then I'm going to show you what the second week looks like. So this is what it's going to look like so far. I think it's working. So this is what they're looking like so far. This is all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and click on the notification button. So that way, whenever I have a new video posted, you will be notified. And once again, thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. You have a great day. Bye.